my pupils, here we are. Cause-effect relationship is, alright, as it is named, right? Cause-effect, cause, consequence. This is the relationship. And here is your example, okay? So you can put it in a table, namely there you are. For example, here we are. Okay, so why many children, right, are denied the proper education? They cannot join, they cannot enroll in school, they cannot go to school, they cannot attend school because their parents are too poor to send them to school. All right, so here we are, which makes as such. This is the cause. Parents are poor. That's it. That's the cause. Okay? Right? What happens? Okay? They cannot send their children to school. Here is effect. Okay? All right. Here it is. So the fact that the parents are extremely poor, they cannot send. So here the rule said 2 plus adjective result full infinitive. 2 plus verb. But the first 2 is 2 double O. And it's of course followed with adjective. Here it is. Good. Okay. So let's write it. Right. 2 plus verb. Here is my cause. Here is my effect. Okay. It can be said also in another way with so. But pay attention with so. It's going to be followed with a whole clause. Parents are so poor that they cannot send their children to school. That they cannot send their children to school. And here is the rule in front of you, dear pupils. Okay, so there we are. Some parents are so poor that they cannot send their children to school. You see here, all right, so poor, right, so, you see, so, plus adjective, but care here, it's that, and a clause. What do you mean by clause? A clause is, of course, goes with subject, modulo, okay, verb, etc., plus bare infinitive. Here is your clause. Okay, here it is. Okay. So this is the subject. Here. This is your modal. Of course, this is your base form. It's equal that one, right? It's the same. But here, as you see, it's full infinitive, but there is what we call a clause. This is one, of course, point seen in the first lesson, if you remember, of unit number 2, Education Matters. Let's follow on. What's coming next? We have the famous if conditional. Okay. If, but here it's with a negative. This is what you call if plus not. That's seen again in unit number 2. Okay. If plus negative verb can all be replaced. Look at this word, ls. but unless followed with a positive verb. You have to care and you have to pay attention, dear pupils, that unless is always followed with a positive verb, but with a negative meaning, because it equals if plus not. Let's follow together. Okay, so here we are. Unless expresses if and only if. All right, that's as an example. If, you see the if, you see here, this is your negative verb. Okay, this is it. If they do not get a good education, that's the condition, they will not live a decent life. Now let's express it with unless. So we have to drop if and we have to drop the negative verb. So the unless they get a decent education, or I mean proper education, good education, and you keep the result, because the modification and all the change happens at the level of the condition, at the level of if, all right, at the level of hypothesizing. This is where you touch. This is where you make the change. So here it is. Okay. Which is, again, all right, so unless, all right, absolutely, it's a positive verb. Okay, but here they are the same. They have the same meaning. Okay, so you see, it's the same. Don't touch the second part. All right. Always remember, dear pupils, that unless has a negative meaning, but always followed with a positive verb. Okay. If you don't review, don't revise well for your exam, you will find it difficult, example, to succeed or something like that. Unless you review and have a good revision, you will find it difficult, okay, to make a good result, okay. So you see, unless plus positive verb, negative meaning, together, like if not. So you cannot say unless you don't, unless is already negative in itself. Okay, so this is one also grammar point seen in one of our lessons, okay, namely lesson number 2 in unit number 2. Okay, we move on. What's getting next? All right, we saw again what we call the emphatic do. What's this do? Normally we use do as an auxiliary to put negative, to put, interrogative form, etc. But here it's also called the emphatic do. What's this emphatic do? Sorry. Or what's the rule or the function of this emphatic do? As its name says, emphatic, to emphasize, to focus, to stress, okay? To put, if you like, to highlight. All right, I like music. I do like music. That means yes and yes and yes. That's it, all right? And here, seen a lesson number 3, unit number 2, when we talked about virtual schools, all right? That means sitting on a computer 5 hours a day does have side effects. It means it has, surely. This is what we call the emphatic do. So let's see here. It would be better if we follow on our, okay, there, good together, good. So what we call the emphatic form or the emphatic do. Why it's do, it's like that, we use with do. Used to put more emphasis, as you see, more focus on the action. All right, of course, it goes without saying. If it's singular, if it's past, of course, we have to pay attention there, needless to say. All right, so this is, all right, followed with a bare infinitive, all right, that means without to, all right. And the example is there, and I hope it will make it clear for you. All right, okay. I believe that a good education leads to a brighter future. Absolutely, I do believe. I believe that a good or proper education leads to, if you like, a brighter future. All right, that's not only I believe, I'm sure, I'm certain, and I do believe. All right, here we are. You see, this is it. And there we are. Okay, I do believe that good education leads to a brighter future. This is what we call the emphatic do. What comes next? Let's follow together. Okay, next comes the use of prepositions. You may wonder, is there a specific rule when using preposition? There is no sure or specific or exact rule of using preposition. Just you have to pay attention, just you have to check, right? Just you have to see, that you have to read, that you have to make acquaintances with these prepositions, that you know that with this word we cannot put such or such preposition. For example, many people say responsible of. Normally it's responsible for. All right, with get, for example, get out, get in, get off, get up. It depends on the preposition changes even the meaning. So here, with the use of prepositions, and here seen mainly in all the lessons, but mainly with much focus on lesson number 6 when we talked about age, or the unit number 2, lesson number 6, if you remember, dear pupils. So let's follow together what's on. All right, so the use of preposition. All right, so for example, here, you see, for example, you can have such, right? For example, I know that reason for. For example, you can have a preposition. For example, aim at. I know now with aim I can have at. Believe in. They go together. Deal with. Allocate to. Interested in, etc. There is no specific rule. Just you have to remember. Just you have to read. Just you have to check our dictionaries if necessary. All right. Good. So let's move on. What's next? All right. Of course, the famous compound adjective. The use of the compound adjective. What's an adjective? An adjective is, all right, it can be simple or compound, but it's always used to describe or to give more explanation about a noun coming next, after, right? So normally adjective, come before, right, a noun. There you are. But never plurals. Never plural form for any adjective, be it simple or compound. Adjectives are 100% singular, with no S. That's it. So but what's a compound adjective and why do we call it compound adjective? Let's follow together, dear pupils. Here we are. Here, all right, it's a compound adjective. It's composed, all right, so you see here it's very important because it's composed of 2 or more elements. And of course, and this is important, there is a hyphen. What's this hyphen? It's this small dash. This is called a hyphen. And what's the use of a hyphen? It's as if you are linking, you are joining the different elements to make all of them one adjective. That's why it's compound, more than one element, all right? And there is a hyphen between the different elements, of course, to tell you that these are the different elements of that specific adjective, okay? Right. So there is a hyphen which is used, all right, as you see there, between the parts of the compound adjective. There are different ways of expressing compound adjective, of course. For example, you can use adverb plus past participle. For example, well-known, that means famous, a well-known singer, all right? For example, highly qualified people, highly plus ed participle to describe these people, all right? For example, hard-working pupils, you see, that's it. That's adverb plus verb plus ing form. Oil producing country, that means country that produce oil. Here is, that means, all right, that's it. Blue-eyed girl, etc. and so on and so forth. For example, to talk about age, we always say, for example, you put the number, year, old, etc. He is a 12-year-old boy. You see? We don't say 12 years, never, because it's part of the compound adjective, there are no S. All right, a 12-year-old boy. All right, very nice. Okay, so maybe here you can have this example. All right, for example here, all right, you can have, okay, adverb, adjective, past participle. Here is the example. This is the adverb, personally, accurate. This is the edge. All right. Okay. Okay. Here is another adverb. Here is the past. As I told you, okay, for example, we say well, well-known, well-known, or a well-known star. Here, dear pupils, you have to pay attention. You are obliged to put the indefinite article or an according to consonant or vowel next. If you have the noun you are describing is singular, for example, a well-known star, but well-known singers, you drop it, needless to say, when it's plural, okay? And the compound adjective is always used to describe a noun, right? Good, there we are. Okay, so let's recapitulate if you don't mind. So here, for example, you can have always your adjective, be it compound or simple, no matter. Okay, and then normally there is a noun. Here we are. Let's lay a little bit there. Okay, what's the compound adjective? Here, for example, well, hyphen, known, star. Okay, that's okay. Here is the compound adjective. Okay, here is the compound, and this is the noun I'm describing. Right? Here is my noun. Now let's make it a plural noun. It becomes, okay, well known stars. So still again. Okay, this is my compound adjective, and here is my noun. So there is no article. Okay, let's follow. All right. We have the use, for example, here we saw it with adult education, the use of noun plus hood. Right, for example, mother, motherhood, to get another noun. Adult, adulthood. Child, childhood, and the fact, the period of being a child. Brother, brotherhood. The fact of feeling that we are all together, we are all brothers, right? Sister, sisterhood, etc. So there we are. Here is one point that you can, with the suffix hood. If you remember, dear pupils, we saw previously with unit number 1, suffixation. What's suffixation? Suffixation are, if you like, to form words. For example, a suffix is normally and always needed and put at the end of a word, of the fix, of the root. All right, for example. Of course, here to make new forms. For example, I don't know, beauty, beautiful. So you see the suffix full. changed the noun into an adjective, right? But here, noun plus who, still you get noun, but it's not for the person, but for something, for a feeling, for a period, right? So that's it. We saw that in that lesson of adult education, if you remember that there is, okay, no end to learning, if you remember that, okay, eternity of, we always learn from life and from etc. All right, so here is our rule, and we have to remember it. We don't have to ignore, right? Okay, and these are our examples, all right? Okay, making that one, all right, and here is, okay, and then we saw what we call exclamation. What's exclamation? Normally, exclamation is, if you like, a punctuation mark. Okay, and it's known as this one, all right? And here it is, if you see there. This is very clear. That's why grammatically we can express something and we call it exclamation. To express something, oh, how nice, what a beautiful part. So you see here, you are expressing admiration. So exclamations are used normally to express something, okay? Either you admire or you are a little bit shocked or like a little bit. So negative or positive surprise, or I should say, what a shame. That means you feel that's really shameful and that's really not nice, etc. Or wow, right? Or you say, oh, what a teacher. If you remember, we saw that with Alexander Graham Bell. We say, what a teacher. We are admiring. So here, what plus, okay, a noun plus exclamation, or what a nice place. You can a full expression, a nice place. What a nice place. With how, just use how plus the adjective. So let's follow here. It may help you a lot. Okay. The use of exclamation through, of course, the WH word, okay, plus noun and etc. All right, so here, of course, absolutely, and this very important as a mark, right, as punctuation. If you don't put it, that means you are not having, something is missing, a very important element is really missing there, all right. All the rule is called exclamation, all right. All right, used, in fact, to express different things, namely, for example, surprise, admiration, okay, etc. All right, and so on and so forth. So, but here you can use it, of course, here with what, as you see there. Plus, all right, if the noun is singular, there you are, okay, article or an plus singular noun. If, of course, having a plural noun, of course, you drop first, let's say, plus noun, all right. Okay, of course, plus the exclamation mark. It may be also used with how plus adjective plus, okay, the exclamation mark. Here, example, how nice. You see, there we are. Okay, all right. What a beauty. What a teacher. What, etc. You see, what a shame. There it is. But with how, you move into adjective. You may wonder why all this story. Of course, for expressing certain functions, or also when you have sometimes a multiple choice, right? So for example, you have to put that word and not that one. For example, you have how and then exclamation. You care, it's not right, a noun, it's adjective. How nice, how beautiful, how etc. So let's move on. What's next? All right. Here we have, when describing a group of people, you can use the plus, if you like, adjective form. they are poor. So we can name this group of people the poor. They can't see, that means they are blind. So we call them the blind. They can't hear, the deaf. Okay? And here I always refer you to your textbook and to the revision that we did, all right, dealt with before. Right, we saw that, for example, for certain people having impediments, that's having certain handicaps, like the blind, like the poor, like, I don't know, the poor are not handicapped, maybe socially, okay? But the blind, the deaf, the dumb. So here the rule says that when we put the plus adjective, you make it group, all right? So there we are. You can put the plus adjective and it gives you, look, noun. Noun used to describe a group of people, you see? And here is your example, okay? The old, the deaf, the dumb, the poor. Normally, old, they are old, it's adjective. But when you put it, the plus that adjective, you refer to a group of people having that characteristic. Okay, here are the main points, grammatically speaking, because we already dealt with what's related with vocabulary. Please, all the sessions have to be, all right, linked, related, so they are not independent. So that's a thorough, if you like, revision. Here, grammatically, here are the main points. All right, let's recapitulate the cause-effect relationship when using two double O's. Okay, pay attention. Plus adjective plus full infinitive. That means two plus. They are too poor to send their children to school. So the fact of being poor, that's the cause. Having a result, children not being sent to school. Two plus adjective plus full infinitive. It can be also replaced with so plus adjective plus that, yes, plus a whole clause, all right? So poor that they cannot send their children, or they could not afford to send their children to school. So here, cause-effect relationship, please remember that. Well, maybe needed one day, all right? Okay, and then we saw how you can form nouns with hood, and then we saw how you can make compound adjectives, okay, exclamations, prepositions, when there is no specific rule, but just we have to be careful, we have to remember what we saw, okay, we have to read, we have to learn, we have to check dictionaries if necessary, we have to, okay, to concentrate a little bit. So here we are. Okay, and of course, we saw that with the exclamation, of course, all right, with that plus adjective that you can move into a group of people and having it enough without forgetting, and of course caring for unless, which is equivalent, or let's say having the same meaning of if not, all right? If plus negative verb, okay, it's the same as unless, but unless is always followed with a positive verb. So this is as, if you want, as far as the main grammar points of Unit 2 are concerned. There is just a small activity, all right, just we try to, okay, to mix the different points in and to practice a little bit. Let's follow together what's there in the practice activity. Okay, maybe you're going to call, all right, and recall back what we saw even in unit number 1, because it's not separate items, it's a whole. All right, practice. All right, here we are with practice. Okay, here it's a blank filling activity. All right, the blank filling activity is there. Okay, so here, fill in the blanks. All right. Okay, with 8 words. Always there are 2 extra items. Always, okay? Whenever you are given such task, okay, bear in mind that you're going to be given 2 items that are not going to be used in your, if you like, paragraph, okay? Because they have no relation whatsoever, either with context or with IDs, etc. With form, so we have to pay attention, all right? And there are always keys, indicators. Here, I would like to tell you something. It's not a secret, but it's just a piece of advice. It's a tip. It's something that you can make it, a nice exercise to deal with. Such tasks, I first advise you to read your list, read your paragraph, concentrate well. First thing to start with is not just to hurry and to jump and to take words and to put them haphazardly here and there. It's not that. But you have to categorize them, put them in classes, right? Classify your words. You may wonder why. We classify our items in order for us, when we go back to the activity and we want to choose, there is a logic. There are indicators. For example, in that specific blank, I don't need a verb, so why should I bother? Why should I look to the column where I have verbs? In that specific blank, I need, for example, a base form. Why should I bother and look for ing form, etc. For this word, I know that it goes and it collocates. That's a phrase. So, for example, we say package holiday. For example, that's just an example. For example, we say well known. All right. I know, for example, with to, that's the to double O cause effect, I have to follow it with infinitive, etc. So here you start with categorizing your list. Then you go back and you look for indicators, for keywords. You can, just imagine you have a trouble, you feel tired and you are not well, you feel ill at ease and you want to go to the doctor. When you go to the doctor, and in order to get the best treatment, you have to show, what's there. I have a headache, I have a toothache, I have a stomachache, etc. Why? In order to get the best treatment and to be cured and healed. It's just a metaphor, just a comparison. Like when you have a door, don't force the door, but look for the key. Here it is. In this task, look for indicators. Look for the treatment. Look for the right, a key. Once you have the key in your hands, all is solved. So let's try together. I hope it is clear and okay. Now, so here we are. Let's follow together, dear pupils. In the last 50 years, the term, here is my list, all right? And when I put my class, all right, my table, of course, you're not going to give your table, when handing your tests, that's in your draft, that's in your sheet, that's for you, all right? Okay, as a candidate. So, I'm going, for example, to have, let's see here. For example, this is my draft, and I put, my list of words. For example, I put verb. For example, I put prepositions. For example, I put like, right? For example, I put adjective. For example, I put WH. I put etc. And then why? Because the shorter the list is, the easier the task will be. The better. Better than choosing from 8 words, or for example, just 3 words, and there is a logic there, there is a key word, there is an indicator. Automatically, it's going to lead to a nice result. It's going to lead to a successful exercise. So let's try together there. So here we are. Get back to my task. I put, for example, I'm going to put here in the list of plural nouns with S. I'm going to put, for example, this is a modal. And I know all modals are followed with base form. I'm going to put here ink, and of course in my table. All right, etc. Here, etc., etc. I'm going to put here another link. I will go to verb, but ing. And I take all these words, I put them in my list, in my table, there, and I have to see them. Okay, now I'm going to make my choice. For example, here I put, for example, I don't know. I don't know, the preposition O, double F. I remember that I have which. I don't know, maybe I don't have adverbs. I have here, however, capital A, H. And I have despite. And I know, of course, very well that these are two linkers of contradiction, of contrast. But there is difference when using them. However, is followed with a clause. All right? Despite, followed with noun. That's it. Noun clause. Good. Etc. I have, for example, V. All right. Okay. I verb in ing form. Maybe it will be useful next. By this I will have to indicate. All right. I have it on now. I have nouns. Okay. I have a noun. Okay. The noun is the word. Okay. The word and the plural. Excellent. And then I go back to my task and I say, here it is. Good. All right. In the last 50 years, the term holiday has come to mean completely different things, okay, to the children from each generation. Always you have the first sentence full and complete. Let's follow. No indicators, right? I'm looking for the indicators, in fact. During the war years and afterwards, a day from school, okay, was thought of as a holiday. So I'm thinking of a holiday. Normally, a holiday is a day. That's what is a holiday. We saw that holiday is not in school, it's off school, okay, it's away from school. There it is. I think here my choice, I hope it is a good one, and it is a good one, perfect one. Good. This could have been a, and I have a blank. What's the indicator? If I look and have to carry on, what's coming next? All right. Okay, if you remember, dear pupils, the first part of revision, when we are making our revision, with, of course, the use of parallelism and parallel structure, we said that some linkers and some are very important, like and, like or, like not only but also, and punctuation like a comma. But yeah, perfect and well. They help to make parallel, okay, structured forms, etc. Remember that? Never forget. So here I have it. So in fact here I have, all right, or okay, so here is a noun. In fact, I have to look in the list of nouns, and the noun being by the river. So it's not a walk, but if you go back to your list, you're going to find the word picnic. Let's check. Here it is, and here it's a noun. All right, good. Okay, all right. Children, and I have blank, and I have a verb, sit. I have in my list, if I remember, here it is. I have a modal, and I know that modals are, okay, followed base form. So maybe there. If you remember expressing past habit, past action, okay, past typical behavior, would sit with their grandparents and listen to fairy tales. That's what they used to do. If you remember how we use past habits, that's it. Would plus base form. Here it is. A key indicator is the base form, right? There were very few school outings, but they did have time off. Okay, if you remember what you said, you have adjective to describe a noun. So I have to look in the list and the column of nouns. And I have, of course, picnic is taken, so it remains festivals. Let us say. So we have here adjective, so here I have to look in list of nouns. What else? Oh, very nice. And I have another indicator. Great. Absolutely. Yes, it is. Here it is. Okay. All right. So this is a noun and this is parallel. So I have to look for a plural noun, which happens to be this one, festivals. All right. Good. All right. Okay, comma also. Good. So, right. And, okay. People. Good. Again, I see in my list this one. And I remember, use it to. Here it is, isn't it? Use it to go away, but it tended to be to visit relatives and not necessarily to coastal resorts, as many people could not afford to go away. And I have a full stop. So needless to say that I have to start with a capital letter. But I have two words capitalized. I have however and I have despite, so linkers. But the rule says with however I can have a clause, okay, with that means with subject and etc. With despite I'm obliged to put a noun form, sometimes ing form. So let me look here. So here, all right, so it's a whole clause with its subject, with its verb and etc. So it's however. Pay attention please, don't change the punctuation. Capitalize, that means capitalize. If you don't capitalize, that we are going to penalize. Punctuation and spelling mistakes are penalized in language exercise, in language activities, in language tasks. Right, so I keep my capital H. However, okay, followed with your comma, right, things have changed a lot lately, and it was a creation of the package holidays in the early 1960s, all right, here referring to package, okay, the fact of all that, okay, all right, here I can put which, if I'm not satisfied, I check next. But here, you see, when you are, ticking and feeling, of course the choice is going to be limited. So this is the nearest and the best choice when you, okay, the remaining items from the remaining, okay, and the meaning, the context is here your keyword, your indicator, or if you like, your tool. Good. All right. Many people went abroad for the first time. School outings have become, this is of course here, I think we have changed to a present moment. That lately, good. School outings have become more popular and more educational. Visiting zoos, museums, etc. If you talk to many children today, they regard the holiday as a week or even 2 weeks away from home, and there is a blank. I have to see and I have to check. Yes, great, here it is. I have or, so I have parallel structure, and I remember there I have an ing word, which is, if you remember, this one, visiting, and it's there. Okay. visiting? Absolutely, because it's parallel with this one. Okay, here it is. So this is it. This is just a small practice. In fact, you have to make use of all your, if you like, knowledge and all your baggage, if you can say, or the tools you know. That's all the okay. We saw parallelism. It's very helpful here, and it helps you to fill in certain blanks and certain gaps. You saw, for example, modals plus base form. It's already there. So past habits, it's already there. Prepositions, that's there. Context, here it is. So here, to recapitulate and to, okay, in brief, to say it in few words. That's, you have to categorize your items first. You have to concentrate well. You have to get back to what you have during your, okay, revision at vocabulary. Here I need a noun, here I need a plural, here, okay, there is this indicator, so I have to follow it, and there you are. I hope it was clear and it was fruitful and helpful for you. Okay, we are waiting for all your suggestions and all your remarks. Thank you. See you next session.